Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So the big question is, how many players, would you recommend, to come to Manchester United in the summer? I have been hearing people saying, we should recommend 5 to come in. I have heard some people, saying we should recommend 6 to come in, and I have heard some people, saying we should recommend 7 to come in. So for my own preference, I would bring at least 5 new additions to the club this summer. I do think from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's perspective, he wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club this summer. And another question is, how many players, would you sanction off this summer? And for me, I think I would sanction at least 5 players off this summer. Some people have said, they'd sanction 6 off, they'd sanction 7 off. So for me, I think, we at least this summer, need to bring at least 5 new additions in, and we need to get rid of at least 5 players this summer. Obviously, as we all do currently know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to sign young players, as he has made it clear. He wants to sign young players, that can spend a lot of years at Manchester United. Basically, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, so he wants to get young players, that can grow, develop, and flourish and emulate into superstars. I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is intending on bringing any short-term players to Manchester United this summer. So I do believe our transfer strategy is going to be quite different this summer, because he wants to bring quite a few young players in. There's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But as he was speaking about the other week, saying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he did basically say that he's going to have his final say on our summer transfer plans. Of course, what players come in and what players leave in the summer. And he does believe, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, we can still attract players to the highest level, even though we're not in a Champions League football for next season. But of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, has expressed his interest in quite a few British players and quite a few young upcoming players. Because, analysing it, we have got quite a few experienced players in our squad. So he wants to bring quite a few young players in, but you can potentially see the deficiencies in the squad. You can identify the areas where Manchester United are lacking. We need a right back, we need a central defender, we need about 3 new additions in that midfield. We need the right winner, and I do believe we need a striker, because we're not scoring enough goals, we're not being ruthless enough in front of goal, and we're not being clinical enough in front of goal. So yeah, you can see the areas where Manchester United of course are lacking. But reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to get a spending spree this summer of around £250 million. Of course, the club are still looking, of course, to hire a director of football, to change the structure of the club. And obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, is going to need backing this summer. And I do know, there's quite a few Manchester United fans on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's back, saying that, they don't believe he's good enough, to elevate this club forward. And obviously, the Manchester United fans, some Manchester United fans have been criticising Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, reflecting on our recent performances and our poor run of results and stuff. And as I did say, we've still got to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer time. I know it's all gone wrong, since he's got the job permanently, because reflecting back when he was the interim manager, the results were very, very good, the performances were very, very good, and he exceeded expectations. And I do know now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got the job permanently. Obviously, it's a 3-year deal, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to meet expectation levels in these 3 years. And I know he hasn't got a great managerial pedigree, not to the highest level. He hasn't really got the experience of a manager, and I still believe he can take us forward, and we've still got to give him the summer to spend, see we can bring in to the club. But as I did currently say, we've been playing catch up for the last 5 or 6 years, since Alex Ferguson retired, and we do know we've had different managers with different philosophies. We do know a lot of money has been invested into the club, and as I did say, none this squad is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So looking at it, he's still in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But as I did say, this game against Cardiff today, of course, because it's now 10 to 1 in the morning. Obviously, he's got to play the youngsters, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because it's a meaningless game. We've missed out on the top 4. We're not in a Champions League football for next season. But as I did currently say, it's a shame that we haven't got that top 4, because looking at it, top 4, would have been a great achievement for Manchester United. Looking at the situation, we was in when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first came in, because we're 11 points behind top 4. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer first came in. But I'm still backing him, and I still believe he's the man that can take Manchester United forward, because he does know the club inside out. Don't forget, he was a great player for 11 years was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And let's be honest, we're never ever gonna achieve what we achieved under Alex Ferguson. In terms of silverware, of course, we've won 13 Premier League titles, 20 all in all, but we're never gonna achieve the success in terms of winning silverware, of what we did under Alex Ferguson over 20 odd years. But as I did say, it's going to take us at least 3 or 4 years, to get us back, to being a competitive elite level football club. And as I did say, at least a couple of years off Manchester City's level. And this is why this summer, we've got to get the right recruitment to Manchester United, because analysing our recruitment policy is very, very poor indeed. But as I did say, we can cash in for players this summer, and that's going to help us in our rebuilding process. It's going to help us in our transition, and and it's going to help us in our rebuilding process. I did say £250 million this summer. As I did say, we can cash in for Lukaku, we can cash in for Pogba and all that. That's over £200 million there, so that's going to take it to about £470 or £480 million to spend for the summer. But as I did say, how many new players would you bring to Manchester United this summer? But I think at least 5 new additions need to come in. But there has been quite a few young players. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been interesting. There's been talks of the likes of Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund, who was actually the club's number one priority target. There's obviously been a lot of talks about West Ham's Declan Rice. He's been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets. There's been talks of Crystal Palace's Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And we've been interested in quite a lot of young players. But as I updated you earlier on today in my last video, where was it? In relation to Jadon Sancho was actually, being the club's number one priority target. I think primarily, Jadon Sancho, does play on that left-hand side, but he can play on the right as well. Reportedly now, he's set to turn down, he's set to reject an £100 million move to Manchester United this summer, is Jadon Sancho, because I think from Jadon Sancho's perspective, he's intending on spending at least one more season with Borussia Dortmund, and I think from Borussia Dortmund's perspective, they are very, very adamant that he will be at Borussia Dortmund next season will Jadon Sancho. Manchester United, of course, have got the financial power to meet his valuation, because obviously, he's valued at around £100 million. Manchester United, of course, have been heavily linked to him, because he's one of the upcoming futures, is Jadon Sancho. He's only 19 years of age. He has got a lot of years ahead of him. But of course, as I did say, maybe a player of Jadon Sancho's calibre, wants to be in Champions League football, and of course, Manchester United haven't got that for next season. So maybe from Jadon Sancho's perspective, he wants to be in Champions League football. But as I did say, I'd love Manchester United, to get a player of his quality, and I think it would be great. He'd create a better platform, for Jadon Sancho. If he was to make a return to the Premier League, because obviously, he's had experience playing in the Premier League, with Manchester City. He had a couple of years with Manchester City, but he never got the opportunity at Manchester City, and that's why I left Manchester City, and that's why, of course, he went to Borussia Dortmund. But he's been fantastic in his couple of years with Borussia Dortmund as Jadon Sancho, and I do really like him indeed. And he's still got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. But I think he's willing to turn Manchester United down. He's willing to remain loyal to Borussia Dortmund. So maybe now we may as well forget him about Jadon Sancho. But as I did say, he's 19 years of age, and Borussia Dortmund have been known for doing business with their players. Borussia Dortmund only paid around £7 or £8 million for Jadon Sancho. So financially, they could make a huge profit on the player. But I think from Borussia Dortmund's perspective, they know how much of an essential player he is to them. And I think probably, next season now, Jadon Sancho will continue playing his trade in Germany with Borussia Dortmund, because I don't think he's going to be leaving Borussia Dortmund this summer, because he's willing to turn down a £100 million move to Old Trafford. But yeah, it's very, very disappointing, because obviously, he's been the club's number one priority target. So he's been on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's agenda. So it's looking likely now our move for Jadon Sancho is in jeopardy this summer. Talking about Aaron Wan-Bissaka now, he's been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets, but I don't see us getting Aaron Wan-Bissaka this summer. Obviously, as we all do know, obviously Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a right back, but I don't see us getting him this summer, because obviously, as he's recently confirmed not too long ago, he's fully committed to Crystal Palace's Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and he's intending on spending at least one more season with Crystal Palace is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So I don't think we're going to get him this summer. I think he's initially valued at around £35-40 million, but we do need to get a right back in to Manchester United this summer. We need a replacement for Valencia, you know, we need an upgrade to Ashley Young, and we need a cover-up for Diego Dalot. So yeah, we do need a right back, but I don't see us now getting Wan-Bissaka. Other young players, you know, Manchester United have been interesting. We do know there's been a lot of talks about West Ham's Declan Rice now. Obviously, he's primarily defensive midfielder, is Declan Rice, and as I was mentioning to you guys, you know, we do need 3 new additions in that midfield. But there has been a lot of talks about Declan Rice. He's 20 years of age. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents. And Manchester United have been very, very interested. You know, could be available reportedly, you know, for around £50 million this summer. And Manchester United are aware, you know, there's quite a few players out there for a reasonable figure. So maybe we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. Not maybe spend too much money on one player. Because we could maybe get 2 or 3 players, you know, for around £100 million, or maybe just for over £100 million. But yeah, there's been a lot of talks about Declan Rice, and he's been at West Ham a number of years now. He's been in the senior squad, you know, West Ham a couple of years as Declan Rice, and you know, I think he'd fit in our midfield very, very well. You know, he's basically, you know, learned his trade in the Premier League, because obviously, you know, he's a former Chelsea player. You know, he joined Chelsea at the age of 7. You know, risen up their youth system, you know, in their youth academy for a lot of years, but I think got axed off at the age of 14. So basically, you know, learned his trade in the Premier League. You know, did Declan Rice, but he's got a contract with West Ham until 2024. He signed this new long-term contract back in December of last year, you know, based on his fantastic performances, you know, for West Ham this season under Manuel Pellegrini. It is only Manuel Pellegrini's, well, it's only his first season with West Ham, of course. Well, he's had his first season now with West Ham nearly, but yeah, his performances have been very, very good with Declan Rice's, and as I did say, he's mainly defensive midfielder. You know, he can play him as a centre-back, but as I did say, you know, the likes of Nemanja Matic, you know, for me, he's not good enough, you know, to hold that line. You know, he's too slow. I've got strong reservations about him. Don't get me wrong, he's well Premier League proven and all that, and he has won trophies. You know, he won a couple of trophies, you know, when he was at Chelsea. He won Premier League, I think, and that with Chelsea. But as I did say, and maybe in a couple of games, you know, he has demonstrated Nemanja Matic, you know, that he can he can perform, you know, on the day. But as just said, he's not reliable enough as Nemanja Matic. So for me, I think he needs to go in the summer. He's obviously, you know, not one of the favourites, you know, to leave him in the summer. I don't think he'll leave him in the summer, but I would like him, you know, to leave him in the summer, Nemanja Matic, because he's totally ineffective in that midfield, and he totally slows that midfield down. So I think Declan Rice, you know, would be a good adequate replacement for Nemanja Matic, because Matic is a defensive midfielder, Declan Rice is a defensive midfielder, and obviously, you know, we need a replacement for Fellaini as well, because obviously, you know, Fellaini left Manchester United in January. Another players, you know, other young players Manchester United have been interested. We do know, obviously, you know, there's been a lot of talks about Swansea City's Daniel James. Now, obviously, we do know that he's a shot candidate name that's been mentioned in the media. Obviously, he's a low expectation. He's a cheap acquisition. You know, if you do look at it, you know, Daniel James. Obviously, quite a few teams have attracted their interest in Daniel James. You know, reflecting on his impressive performances this season for Swansea City. Reports were coming out from Sky Sports the other day saying that Manchester United were closing in, were actually close to agreeing a deal of around £15 million for Daniel James. So that is a very, very reasonable figure. But Daniel James, I think, is primarily plays as a left winger. I think he can play him as an attacking midfielder, Daniel James, but I think he primarily plays as a left winger. I think maybe he could put Daniel James on that right hand side. I think he's still got a year left on his contract with Swansea. But yeah, I think Manchester United are closing in on a deal for him. So this could reportedly, you know, be one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first signings. Daniel James, you know, he can score goals, he can provide. You know, I think he's made about 30 odd appearances this season for Swansea City. But I think Leeds were on the brink of getting him in January, but Leeds didn't get him, because obviously, you know, Swansea had pulled out of the deal, you know, right at the final hurdle. I think it was a reported fee of around 8.5 million. But he's 21 years of age. He's a Welsh international, of course. And as I did say, maybe he isn't the player, you know, that can, you know, has got the ability to elevate Manchester United in the next 2 to 3 years, because so far he obviously, you know, hasn't played to the highest level, because obviously, you know, he's a championship player, and if he was to come to the experience of the Premier League, you know, with a big massive club like Manchester United, you know, it would be a tester, you know, for Daniel James. But yeah, there has been a lot of talks about him going on in the media. And Daniel James, he's been at Swansea a number of years now. Don't think he's been in the senior squad, that long. Obviously, Swansea City got him from Hull City for around £72,000. Was it because he actually initially began his youth career with Hull City, did Daniel James. So he's been linked with a move to Old Trafford. So he's another young player that Manchester United have been interested in. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he refused to comment on, the speculation, linking, Daniel James with a move to Old Trafford. But yeah, there has been a lot of talks about that going on in the media in the last couple of days. But as I did say, it's not all about, the Glasgow players. It's not all about the well-established players. It's not all about spending a big on players, as I said. So, do you think Daniel, James, could, do you think he'd be a crucial player for Manchester United, of course, if he was to come in? And as I did say now, supposedly with Daniel James reportedly coming in, Anthony Martial's future, could be in more serious doubt, because talking about Anthony Martial, there's been a lot of reports going on saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is considering, sanctioning Anthony Martial off this summer, and he did initially say that he's ready to sell Anthony Martial off this summer, because he did say Anthony Martial is infuriated Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, from his own basically perspective, did basically, he's actually reflecting on basically Anthony Martial's behaviour recently, his bad attitude in training, and it did say Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is ready to sell Martial off this summer, and it did say he's ready to listen to offers for Anthony Martial. But we can't get rid of Anthony Martial. He's still a very, very essential player for Manchester United. If we did get rid of him, again, it would be bad business from the club. It would be bad judgment for Manchester United, because Martial has proven himself in his 4 years so far. He has been with Manchester United, because earlier on in the season, he was in really, really good form, was Anthony Martial. I know in the last couple of months, his performances have been way below par. He has had an injury and all that. He has had injuries as Anthony Martial, but in the last couple of months, his performances have been way below par, so he's failed to replicate, what he did early on in the season. But when we got Anthony Martial in his first season, when we signed him as a 19-year-old, he's 23 now, but when we signed him as a 19-year-old, he had a good debut season with Manchester United. He scored about 17 goals, and Manchester United got him in a deal worth around £36 million from Monaco. Obviously, the deal rising up to £57 or £58 million, based on goals and achievements. Obviously, Martial was linked to a move from Old Trafford. He was linked to a move away from Old Trafford last year. It was linked to a move away from Old Trafford last year, because they had, obviously, Jose Mourinho wanted to sell him, and obviously, but he didn't move because obviously, Ed Woodward had currently blocked the move. Remained loyal to Manchester United, did Anthony Martial, and obviously, Manchester United gave him a new 5-year contract back in January, so we did sign him a new long-term contract. But recent reports did say now, I think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has changed his perspective on the whole situation. Now, reportedly, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is deciding to keep Anthony Martial, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is willing to give him at least a year, to currently prove himself. But with Daniel James coming in, what's going to happen with Anthony Martial? Is he going to leave? Are Manchester United going to rotate Anthony Martial, and put him in more of a central position? And this is if obviously, Daniel James is to come in. So yeah, maybe, you could put Anthony Martial in more of a central position. And yeah. And other young players, that Manchester United have been interested in as well. There has been a lot of talk, about De Ligt from Ajax. He's obviously a young central defender. He's also been mentioned as De Ligt. I don't see us getting De Ligt, to be quite honest, because I think Manchester United actually, got concerns about his weight, of him becoming a fat and all that, or something like I basically said. But quite a few teams have expressed their interest in De Ligt from Ajax. But I think actually, Barcelona are on the verge of getting him. It did reportedly say in the media that Barcelona and Ajax have come to an agreement on a £60 million deal for De Ligt. He did basically say, De Ligt's agent, who of course is Raiola. I think De Ligt's agent Raiola has delayed De Ligt's move to Barcelona at the moment, because reportedly Raiola is demanding 20% of the £60 million deal reportedly. But I think De Ligt is going to be going to Barcelona. But obviously, this Edwin van der Sar, of course, who is the CEO of Ajax, he's confirmed that De Ligt is definitely very, very likely, to leave Ajax this summer. And I think, Edwin van der Sar believes he will either make the move to England to come and play in the Premier League, or he will make the move to Spain. So it's likely, De Ligt will be playing his trade next season in either England or Spain. So I think he probably end up going to Barcelona. But Barcelona have obviously, completed a deal for Frankie de Jong for Ajax already for around £75 million. Obviously, Barcelona agreed this last summer with Ajax, but it's a year in advance, so Frankie de Jong is going to be officially a Barcelona player in the new season. But yeah, obviously, talking about De Ligt, I think Barcelona, he's going to probably, end up going to Barcelona. But De Ligt obviously, has been at Ajax so far. He spent the entirety of his career so far with Ajax. Obviously, he's been an Ajax player, since he was a child. He's been an Ajax player, since the age of 9 years old, and he's grown, developed and flourished fantastically well. He is age 19 now. He's De Ligt. Obviously, he's been in the senior squad a number of years with Ajax. Obviously, now he's the captain of Ajax, but I think he became more of a first team starter in Ajax's team, of course, when Ajax sanctioned Davinson Sanchez off. But reportedly, he's supposed to be rated at around 60 or 70 million pounds. He's De Ligt, but Manchester United have been interested. But recent reports did say that he turned down a move to Old Trafford. De Ligt. So he's been another young player that Manchester United, of course, have been interested in. But there has been, quite a few players, that Manchester United have been interested in. Obviously, Chelsea's Callum Hudson-Odoi. He's been one of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's prime targets, of course, as Callum Hudson-Odoi. I think he mainly plays as a winner, but he can play up front, can Callum Hudson-Odoi. Obviously, as I did say, obviously it was Bayern Munich's number one priority target, back in the January transfer window. Bayern Munich had held negotiations. I think Bayern Munich had a host of bids turned down by Chelsea for him. Bayern Munich, of course, were willing to offer him the number 10 shirt. So Bayern Munich were on the verge of getting, Callum Hudson-Odoi, back in January. And Callum Hudson-Odoi wanted to leave because he actually, put a transfer request in. But from Chelsea, were refusing, to let him leave, and they were reluctant to let Callum Hudson-Odoi leave. He's only 18 years of age. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents. Again, British, and as I did say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer showed an interest in quite a few British players. Could still, could reportedly, Callum Hudson, still leave Chelsea this summer. Obviously, as you all do know, Chelsea have got a transfer ban, as you all know, so they can't do any transfer activity in the next couple of windows. Obviously, Chelsea have appealed against this decision, but obviously, as you all do know, Chelsea have lost out on the appeal. So obviously, Chelsea won't want to lose players, and they won't want to even lose Eden Hazard. They probably won't want to lose Callum Hudson-Odoi, but I think maybe still Bayern Munich are set to revive their interest in Callum Hudson-Odoi this summer. But reports have been coming out saying that Manchester United have joined the race for Callum Hudson-Odoi. Reports came out a while back, saying that Liverpool were in negotiations with his agent. But Callum Hudson-Odoi is 18, as I said. He hasn't really had the opportunity this season under Maurizio Sarri. He has had strong reservations about his game time, especially in the Premier League. I think he's injured now, Miss Callum Hudson-Odoi. It did say he was going to be out for the remainder of this season. Of course, as you all know, there's only one game to go. But I think Chelsea have tried to convince Callum Hudson-Odoi, to sign a new contract, but he hasn't not signed a new contract, and he's under contract with Chelsea until 2020. But a few teams have expressed their interest in him. So yeah, he's another young player, that Manchester United have been interested in. So yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to bring young players to Manchester United, and that's a really, really good thing, to be quite honest, because as I did say, we've got a lot of aging up players in our squad. So you want, young players to come in, that can grow, develop and flourish. Just like Rooney and Ronaldo did as a prime example. And actually, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did mention Rooney and Ronaldo. They came in as youngsters, they grew and developed fantastically well. And, they came, superstar players. And look what they did, for the club. Rooney and Ronaldo, when they grew and developed and flourished. Ronaldo was here, 6 years, was it? Rooney was here about 12 or 13 years. And they were absolutely fantastic indeed. So I think this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to do in the summer. And as I was saying, yes, so, the players I think that are going to leave this summer, I think it's going to be probably about 4 or 5 that are going to leave this summer. But, I'm going to tell you the players I think should leave as well, but I don't think some of them will leave. We do know one player that's definitely going to leave, of course, that's Antonio Valencia. He's definitely going to leave the club in the summer when his contract expires. I think we should give him a farewell appearance today against Cardiff City. Maybe give him a 5 or 10 minute run out. I don't think he'll start the game. I think recent reports have said he's back in training now, because obviously Antonio Valencia has been out for the majority of the season with a calf injury. He's initially lost his players in the squad, but yeah, we need to give him the send off. He's been a good servant to the club. This is now his 10th season at Manchester United. Antonio Valencia's, he's made over 300 appearances for the club in all competitions. Of course, he won the Smack Buzz Player of the Year award, back in 2012. So yeah, he's been a fantastic servant for the club. So he's one player that's guaranteed to leave Manchester United in the summer. But we did have the option to extend his contract, but Manchester United didn't decide to do it. But he's age 33 now. Of course, he's really aging up. Ashley Young. Now, he's a player that needs to leave in the summer, but I don't think he's going to leave in the summer. I think Manchester United are probably not going to wait until his 1 year extension expires. And then obviously, by the time that expires, he'll be nearly 35 years of age. He'll be coming to an end of his playing career anywhere. But I think we need to get rid of him in the summer because he's the main factor of the problem is Ashley Young. But I don't think, Manchester United, will get rid of him in the summer. He definitely needs to be dropped today for the Cardiff game. It was bad business for Manchester United, giving Ashley Young that new 1 year extension, and we shouldn't have given him that new 1 year extension. Don't get me wrong, I've admired his fantastic career. He's been here about 7-8 years now. He was a good winner back in the day, was Ashley Young, but now he's definitely past his sell by date as Ashley Young. He's won everything in domestic, but he's past his sell by date, and we've rotated him in that fullback position at least for a couple of years now, because when he was a winner, he was actually more effective, when he was a winner, Ashley Young. But he's 33, nearly 34 years of age now, so he needs to go, but I don't think he'll go in the summer, even though I want him to. And talking about, the likes of Phil Jones, I think he also needs to go in the summer. I don't think Phil Jones, will go in the summer. I think Man United will keep him. As I did say, it's bad business for Manchester United, giving Phil Jones that new long-term contract. We shouldn't have never give him that new long-term contract. That was bad business for Manchester United. And Phil Jones has been here about, 7-8 years now. He's been a long-serving player at the club. But as I did say, he needs to go in the summer as Phil Jones, but I don't think he will. And, comparing Phil Jones and Chris Smalling's a much better defender than Phil Jones, but from my own perspective, I still think it was a mistake for Manchester United, giving Chris Smalling that new long-term contract, because mainly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been going with Chris Smalling and Victor Lindelof as a centre-back partnership. Mainly, a couple of times he's rotated it, but it's been mainly Chris Smalling and Victor Lindelof. I probably maybe would keep Chris Smalling, to be quite honest, maybe for another season, but I definitely would get rid of Phil Jones this summer. Yeah. And Eric Bailly, he's a player I think, maybe should go. He's heavily linked to a move to Arsenal. I think Man United, demanding that one around £30 million for him. Obviously, we're looking to recoup the initial £30 million. We did pay for Eric Bailly, back in 2016 from Villarreal. And actually, when we got Eric Bailly, obviously, under the Jose Mourinho tenure, obviously, Jose Mourinho got 11 players in. He spent just under £400 million. But actually, Eric Bailly, of course, was actually his first signing. And Eric Bailly, has got great potential. I still really, really highly rate him, but he's injury prone. He's sustained a couple of injuries this season, and he hasn't really been given the opportunity because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has preferred the likes of Chris Smalling and Phil Jones ahead of Eric Bailly. So I think maybe Eric Bailly needs to go. Marcus Rojo needs to go as well. I think he probably will leave in the summer with Marcus Rojo, but we've got to get rid of him because we can cash in for Rojo in this summer, which is very, very good. Darmian, we can cash in for Darmian this summer because we have triggered that extension, so we could get maybe around 8 or 10 million for Darmian, and I think maybe for Darmian and Rojo, we could get around £30 million, so maybe, we should cash in for them this summer. Look, as I did currently say, I think it's bad business, for Manchester United, letting Ander Herrera, go on a free transfer this summer, because obviously, as reports were reflecting out from the media yesterday, it has been confirmed now. Ander Herrera has confirmed he's leaving the club at the end of the season. Obviously, Manchester United have confirmed he's leaving the club at the end of the season, but this is bad business for Manchester United, because we're letting, one of our best players go. Obviously, he's been one of our best players, since Alex Ferguson retired, and we're letting one of our valuable players go on a free transfer as well. But Ander Herrera, he's been a good long-serving, loyal servant. He's been a good loyal servant to the club as Ander Herrera. He's been at Manchester United, 5 years. Obviously, he's made about 189 appearances for the club in all competitions. Obviously, with us, he's won the FA Cup, the Europa League, and the League Cup as Ander Herrera. Obviously, just recently, gained his place back in the team because obviously, he'd been initially out injured for a long time as Ander Herrera. But it's bad business from the club, letting him go on a free transfer, because I don't really understand it, and I think, the problem with Manchester United, we've been letting too many players contracts run down, of course, and that is the problem. And why are we giving new contracts to Phil Jones, as I just said? Why are we giving new long-term contracts to Chris Smalling? And why have we let Ander Herrera's contract run down? It did actually say that Manchester United, were in negotiations of getting Ander Herrera a new contract, and it did say the club were locked in the contract negotiations, but it did say reportedly Ander Herrera was demanding around £200,000 £200,000 a week for Manchester United. Reportedly, Man United were not willing to meet his £200,000 a week wage demands. So this means Ander Herrera has made his decision and he's intending on going to PSG on a free transfer at the end of the season. I think he has agreed the personal terms as it's confirmed. I think he's agreed a 4-year deal. He's set to earn around £150,000 or £160,000 a week with Paris Saint-Germain. But don't get me wrong, I've admired his fantastic career with Manchester United, of course, and obviously he won the Samat Busby Player of the Year award, with us, was it back in 2016 and 17, did Ander Herrera. But I know there's better midfielders out there than Ander Herrera, and obviously, we're going to have to try and find a replacement for Ander Herrera, because these better midfielders out there than Ander Herrera, without a shadow of a doubt. But as we all do know, I think he's going to be going to PSG, of course, and just basically, got to accept that, because obviously we do know, we've had, obviously, players' tenures, do come to an end at some point, of course. A prime example, we saw it Ronaldo after 6 years, who were really, really good at United. We saw it, we saw it with Rooney after 12 or 13 years. So players' tenures, do come to an end, and you've just got to really accept that. But Ander Herrera, of course, he's very influential in midfield. He breaks up the play very, very well. Shows a lot of tenacity, of course, and analysing it, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's coming, when Ander Herrera has been playing, Manchester United, of course, we have won the majority of our games. So yeah, it is a real shame, of course, that Ander Herrera is leaving the club. So that's bad business for Manchester United. Paul Pogba, we do know, of course, he's on his way out, of course, as well. And obviously, as I did say, we need 3 new additions if Paul Pogba, of course, leaves Manchester United. And I think he's intending on making the move to Real Madrid is Paul Pogba. Reportedly, Manchester United want around £160 million for Paul Pogba. Reportedly, Real Madrid are not willing to pay it, because obviously, probably Real Madrid, can't afford, to pay £160 million for Paul Pogba. Manchester United, of course, have been in contract negotiations, trying to get Paul Pogba a new contract at the club. He's still got 3 years left on his contract. Well, initially over 2 years with an option of an extension, so I'll call it 3 years. Of course, obviously Paul Pogba's agent, has obviously been in the process, at least in the last couple of weeks, of trying to find Paul Pogba a new club. Obviously, Paul Pogba's been at Manchester United now over 3 years. Of course, Man United is obviously our most expensive signing. Of course, Manchester United, paid £8 to £9 million for Paul Pogba. Obviously, he was talking a lot about Real Madrid, quite a few weeks back, about his dream to play for them and all that. And obviously, Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of Paul Pogba. But yeah, it's looking likely he's on his way out. But we can still at least get around 120 or 130 million pounds for him. Obviously, Paul Pogba last year was heavily linked to a move away from Old Trafford, based on his poor relationship with Jose Mourinho and all that. And he was linked with his former club Juventus, where he did have 4 good years before he came back to Manchester United. And he was linked with a move to Barcelona, where was Paul Pogba. But yeah, it's looking likely he's on his way out of the club. And some Manchester United fans, will be happy about this. Some will be disappointed, of course. But maybe a player of Paul Pogba's, level, wants to play at the highest level, wants to be up there challenging, wants to be up there winning trophies. And as we all do know, Manchester United are at least a couple of, we're a number of years off, from graduating back to that level. So maybe Paul Pogba, wants to play amongst better players, and he isn't getting that at Manchester United, of course. And his performances, at least in the last 6 or 7 games, have been really, really poor. So that just emphasises he's not intending on spending the rest of his. That just emphasises that he doesn't want to be at the club, and that just basically says that he's not intending on spending the rest of his playing career in England with Manchester United. And Paul Pogba's 26. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him. He's in his prime. But as I did say, still one of the best midfielders in the world is Paul Pogba, when he's playing in the right vein and manner. And he was very, very good in his first 3 months under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was scoring goals, he was providing. And since he's been here, of course, he's won the Europa League, with Man United with us. He's won the League Cup with us as Paul Pogba. That was obviously, in Jose Mourinho's first season when he won his 2 trophies with the club, of course. But as I did currently say, so maybe some Manchester United fans, may be disappointed at this. But recent reports have been saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's relationship with Paul Pogba is slowly fading away. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still does believe that Paul Pogba will be at Manchester United next season, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says he can't take nothing granted. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still believes that Paul Pogba will be at Manchester United next season. But yeah, it's looking likely, of course, he's on his way out of the club. So it's, pretty disappointing, to be caused. But if we can get around £130 million from him, at least, we can get 2 players with that money. Definitely, Alexis Sanchez is on his way out of the club. And I think Alexis Sanchez's wages, totally having a bad effect on the club, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. His wages are having a really, really bad effect on the club. And he's sustained another injury now, so he won't participate today against Cardiff. And I think this is now his 4th injury injury, he has sustained Alexis Sanchez, and he's been here about 15, 16 months, and he's been so inconsistent when he has played, and that's not good enough, for a player that's the highest paid player at the club. He's on £400,000 a week, the highest paid player in the Premier League. And I thought when we got him 15, 16 months ago, Alexis Sanchez, I thought he would have been a fundamental player for Manchester United, considering what he did at Arsenal. Obviously he's played under Pep Guardiola, of course, when he was young, Alexis Sanchez, but it just hasn't happened, to be quite honest. And he is 30 now. He's not playing to the highest level anymore. He has lost that yard of pace. He hasn't got a future at the club, Alexis Sanchez. So yeah, I think we've got to get rid of him in the summer. But I think Man United will have to, pay half his wages off, of course, to get rid of him this summer, because there won't be many teams out there, of course, that can afford to pay Alexis Sanchez's wages off, of course. So he's got to leave Manchester United in this summer. And we do know he's versatile, but when Manchester United, mainly play him, we do seem to mainly put him on that left-hand side. As I did say, it's looking like, of course, Juan Mata, of course, is on his way out of the club this summer. I don't want Juan Mata to leave. I think we need, Manchester United, I think we need to at least, I want us to give him another year, because, I really, really like Juan Mata, and I think he's been a very, very good, loyal servant to the club. We do know now he's obviously, squad play. He doesn't even really get into the team, even though he has played in the last couple of games as Juan Mata. Of course, his pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League. He's been in the Premier League a lot of years now as Juan Mata. I think he's been in the Premier League about, 7, 8 seasons now. He's been here at Manchester United 5 seasons. Obviously, when he was younger, he spent like 2.5, 3 years with Chelsea. But I think Juan Mata, from his own perspective, is intending on making a return to Spain, because obviously, Juan Mata's Spanish himself. Obviously, when he was a lot younger, he had a lot of experience playing in Spain, with Real Madrid and Valencia. And I think Juan Mata's there's been talks about him going to Barcelona on a free transfer this summer, to Barcelona. But obviously, Barcelona aren't going to see him as a replacement for Messi. Obviously, Barcelona are just going to use him now as a squad player, because obviously, Juan Mata is currently a squad player now at Manchester United, but he's 31 years of age. He's no longer playing to the highest level, and he has lost that yard of pace as Juan Mata. But I think Man United are trying to get him a 1-year extension at the club. But yeah, I think he's probably going to be on his way out. Obviously, I think, we need to get rid of Lukaku as well. Lukaku, I don't think he's got the capabilities, to play to the highest level, Romelu Lukaku. And, as I did currently say, he's attracted interest from the likes of Juventus and Inter Milan. Maybe Lukaku and Sanchez, will be here next season. I think one of them at least will be here next season. I think we maybe could get rid of Lukaku or Sanchez, but I do think at least one of them will be here next season, or maybe perhaps even both of them, will be here next season. But there has been rumours, that Lukaku, could leave the club this summer, because I think he's intending on making the move to Italy. Don't forget, Manchester United, paid big money for Lukaku. Paid £75 million plus £15 million in add-ons, which had risen the deal to £90 million. He's got 3 years left on his contract. He's on about £250,000 a week. Don't get me wrong, his pedigree is very, very good in the Premier League. He has scored a lot of goals in the Premier League, but he's too slow. I've got strong reservations about him. He can look a bit more effective when he's getting that support at front, but he just hasn't got that finishing asset to Romelu Lukaku. So yeah, I think he could possibly be on his way out this summer. So yeah, we are expected, to orchestrate a big summer club, but I think it'll be about 5 players that will leave. But from my opinion, who I think will leave is probably, Darmian, who'll be 1, Rojo, he'll be 2. Probably Sanchez, I think he'll probably leave, he'll be 3. Mata, that'll be 4. Lukaku may stay, I don't know, I'm not too sure about him, so that'll be 4. And who else, could leave? I don't know, to be quite honest with you, I'm not too sure, to be quite honest with you, but yeah, there's quite a few names that's been mentioned, who could leave the club. But obviously, every name I've mentioned to you, they're not all going to leave the club, but there has been reports saying that, they could potentially, leave the club. Lukaku may be still here next season. Sanchez may be still here next season. I think Darmian will go in the summer. I think Rojo will go in the summer. Possibly, Bay could also go in the summer. I think I don't think Jones will go in the summer. I think he'll stay at Manchester United. Even though I do want him out of the club. So we'll basically see what happens. Not too sure with De Gea. As I did say, with De Gea, if we can't come to an agreement to get him a new contract, obviously, we'll want to cash in for De Gea this summer rather than letting go on a free in the summer of 2020. But Man United could get around 80, 90 million pounds for De Gea. Gea, because there has been recent reports going on saying he has been linked with a £90 million move to PSG as David De Gea. Obviously, Real Madrid have been long admirers of him, of course. Obviously, he's been a good servant to the club as De Gea. He's been here about, 7, 8 seasons now at Manchester United. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions. And, so we haven't yet come to an agreement to get him a new contract. Recent reports were saying he was demanding around £350,000 a week from Manchester United. Man United were only willing to offer him £300,000 a week. But De Gea's won the club's Player of the Year 4 times out of the last 5 years based on his performances. I think he's won the SmackBuzz Player of the Year award, quite a few times. Obviously, we do know Luke Shaw has won the SmackBuzz Player of the Year award. To be fair to Luke Shaw, he's a player I would definitely keep. He hasn't done much wrong, especially this season for Manchester United. And of course, he is our first choice left back. Is Luke Shaw. So yeah, he's definitely a player I would keep. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him. But talking about De Gea, whether he stays or goes or not, I do currently not know. But obviously, if he goes, obviously we're going to need a replacement for David De Gea as well, because obviously the likes of Romero I don't think is reliable enough at the moment. He's obviously injured at the moment anyway. Obviously we've got Lee Grant as a backup option, but obviously Lee Grant I don't think he's participated yet with Manchester United as Lee Grant. Obviously we got him last summer. But yeah, as I did say, we have expected to orchestrate a big summer clout. So hopefully we can beat Cardiff. As I did say, it's going to be essential, what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, it's not essential, like achieving anything at all, because obviously, nothing to play for, but it's going to be essential what team Ole Gunnar Solskjaer selects. And I do want him to go with the young players, give Mason Greenwood the chance, doing very, very well for the reserves in the upcoming future. Give Chong the chance, looked very, very impressive when he came on against Huddersfield. Maybe perhaps give James Garner the chance, maybe give Angel Gomez the chance. Definitely put Diego Dalot at right back, because he's another upcoming future for Manchester United. So yeah, give the youngsters the opportunity we might as well. We're not going to get many opportunities like this, playing against Cardiff on the final game of the season, when you've nothing to basically play for. Obviously playing a team, of course, that's already relegated. So yeah, it should be an easier Manchester United win. But as I said, we're getting around £250 million this summer. So let's see if we can bring in to the club this summer. Because obviously we spent in January. We didn't get his number one targets last summer. So Solskjaer is still in the process of rebuilding. But I will start to be critical of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer if it does start to go all wrong in the new season. So we've got to be ruthless in this summer transfer window. We've got to rebuild, because you can see the areas where Manchester United are lacking. But I still believe Solskjaer's a better fit for this squad than what currently Jose Mourinho was. So yeah, let's see who he can bring in to the squad anyway. So anyway, guys, and as I did say, Solskjaer, of course, has been, he's had quite a few meetings with, I think, with like Mike Phelan and all that, and he's discussed with Ed Woodward, what type of recruitment, he does want to bring to Manchester United this summer. And obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has made that clear. He wants to bring young players into the club. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing as always, and take care. God bless, guys, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.